episode of Going For It. We are here with the most superior panel of individuals we've had to this point. Mostly because of subtraction, not because of addition, but also
Ouch.
Who's counting?
Oof.
Not me.
Not Browns fans. They can't.
Oh, it's because they learn in Cleveland, and that's bad. Ohio's not good at anything except college football, ? And they're not even that good at that. So,
And Cole.
Super good at Cole, the best at Cole.
I think.
Congratulations.
I don't know. Maybe not.
Who knows? We are going to discuss whether or not preseason matters, and believe it or not, the man, the myth, the sour puss, Mike Thomas has feelings on this, and I'm excited.
Feelings.
Strong. He's passionate about this, and I'm going to give you the floor, Mike Thomas. Does preseason matter, and why? Tell me.
Yes, it matters. It matters immensely to these NFL teams. Not to the fans. To us fans, no, it sucks. It's garbage. It's a waste of time. It is only worth putting on to just remind you that the dog days of summer are almost past and America's true pastime is almost upon us. That's the only reason to turn on the Hall of Fame game for a half, to hear Chris Collinsworth and be like, football's almost back. Turn it off immediately and then go back to living your summer life. Collinsworth. But he is football sounding. He sounds like football. So the preseason 100% matters for these football teams, for these guys on the bubble, and trying to get those guys the reps they need to be better football players, to make the team, to make the product on the field better. And the NFL is like, we need to not give them those reps. We need to get more actual football games and treat these like real full-fledged football games. We're going to charge full price for them. Everything's going to be full price. We want these to be actual football games. We just want the money. It should just be about getting the teams ready for the regular season, and that's not what the focus is.
Yeah, so we're one season into the additional game, and
yep.
I don't know that it made a huge difference for anyone last season. And like, when you play so few games in a season, I don't know that one game, and it feels weird. It feels like it should be the inverse, but the way that the current divisions are made up, and like where we've established already, like the cream rises to the top, and in the NFC there's very little cream, and in the AFC there is slightly more less cream. One game doesn't really shift a whole lot. So,
but look who was playing that game. That game was not the stars. It wasn't the starters.
Yeah, exactly.
It was the bubble guys. Those guys need their reps. And if they don't get it, I think it can long-term mean that your benches aren't going to be as good because those guys aren't going to have the experience. And it's for what? To just, because the NFL owners wanted more games and more revenue and to expand the league, even though it's printing money at this point.
Well, and another thing I'll say too is I feel like, and maybe I'm misremembering, and I'm excited to really pay attention to it this season, is that I feel like the first like week or two last season was a little sloppier than normal because a lot of the starters are getting less reps. Like, I know the Giants, game one of the preseason barely played any starters. And they're non-committal to playing them in the second game, but I think they need some snaps. And typically the third game, if the last season was anything to show for it, they're going to do the same thing they did in game one, where like maybe they'll get a drive, but you're playing significantly less football than you were 2 years ago, 3 years ago, when it was the starters get a series, game one, game two, they get a quarter, game three, they get a half, game four, they play nothing. Mm-hmm. And you can kind of set, you could have kind of set your watch to it. Mike Blaine, do you concur? I feel like I remember the first couple weeks being a little sloppier than normal last
Yeah.
season.
So when it comes to preseason, I agree with Mike in the fact that preseason's important for your team depending on areas that you have position battles. Like right now for the New York Giants, backup offensive lineman, interior offensive lineman, slot cornerback. Those positions, we have no idea who the hell is going to be starting in those positions as of right now.
Hope they're not
So
on the team right now.
yeah,
They're
in certain situations, exactly, kind of hoping that those are people that we currently don't have on the roster because it's not looking great. But those kind of things are important. And it's good to identify players on other teams who might get cut, who you think could also benefit your team. Those things are great. With that being said, you also had multiple times where, like, the Aaron Rodgers Packers and the Tom Brady Patriots, those guys, their number ones never even played a snap in preseason for like 3 years, 4 years in a row, and they still came out perfectly fine. So for me, preseason's important for a bunch of ways, but boy, is it fucking awful to watch. Like, I watched the Titans Bears game over the weekend.
You said Titans, and I already cringed. It didn't even matter who was the second team. I was like, "Ooh, Titans." Ugh.
My brother in Christ, there was a turnovers on 3 consecutive plays, not drives, plays. Like, there are certain things where it's just some of these guys are definitely not up to the caliber, and it shows, and that's fine. That's not a problem. You're going to find that with every team. But like sometimes when it's happening so broadly, it's a painful watch. And like I want to say that game ended with 6 turnovers overall. Like, it was stuff like that. It's like, I'm not having fun. No one should be having fun watching this. Like, everyone should. You should not feel good watching this. In fact, you actually should feel bad. Like,
shame. It just feels like you got caught like as a kid watching a dirty movie. You're just like, oh man, like it's not as good as it should be, but also like, but I need it. So you're in that like weird in between place, because I agree with what Mike Thomas was saying, which was like, you need to watch some football because like it scratches that itch. I'm a baseball guy. I like to watch baseball, but like I'm at the point where I'm done with baseball because I've watched the game happen 130 times at this point, and I'm like, cool, get to the playoffs where it's fun, where like everyone's celebrating all the time and like the games matter and it's important. Like I'm done with baseball. Like I'm ready for something new. I'm ready for the page to turn. And like I almost put on the Hall of Fame game. That's like, that feels like a new low for me. Like I feel like a junkie. Like I'm just like, yeah, I'm gonna put on the Jets and the fucking, I don't even remember who they played. The Browns. Like the Browns, like third and fourth team, because like Zach Wilson played 12 snaps or something and he dominated even though he didn't throw a touchdown. And it was just like, yeah, I'm gonna watch the Browns third and fourth team play the Jets third and fourth team. No, I'm not. I'm not that desperate, but I was close.
Now here's a guy who's desperate to watch football. He's
right,
watching some preseason action.
I mean, I'm done with baseball for a while for obvious reasons. You understand already. So.
Yeah, the Mets are bad, but
the Mets are really bad.
They're really.
We built a winner. It's just they never won. So,
but I mean, Mike can revel in your sorrow as well. The Pirates are also not a good team. They have not been in their entire existence, I think.
What do the Mets, Pirates, and Browns all have in common? Shit owners.
Hey, we just got a new owner, and he
okay,
likes to
fair.
spend
I didn't
money.
know that.
It's not well.
Yeah, he likes to spend money. We're also the worst team in the division, so he may still be a shitty owner, but like, we'll see.
He's trying to just spend as much money as possible. It's just not going well yet.
Yeah, well, that's not how you win in baseball. But regardless, I digress.
Dodgers in during the COVID year.
Okay, one time. Uh, I do miss that fourth preseason game because like that was that was always like the Snoopy Bowl with the Giants and like
We still
you
have
would
that.
yeah, but it's not
It's just
it's
now
not
it's
the
the third.
same. Yeah, it's like it's not the same. And that fourth game, like you really did see the best version of non-starter football because those guys were fighting for their lives. Like the difference between being on the starting roster, being a practice squad guy, or being cut entirely, and like Pat McAfee says on his show, like these guys are like become accountants like 2 weeks after. That was a real thing, and like it's so much less intense now, and it feels like I don't know, it just feels like some of the urgency is gone, and I don't like that. It feels like they're hard knocksing the preseason a little
Hmm.
bit, and they're just kind of like just going through the motions. Like it feels like at this point, why even have it? Like you guys are so anxious to start making money on regular season games, why even have your preseason? Because it's necessary. But it was 4 weeks or 4 games in the preseason because it was necessary. And now you took that game away and you started everything a week earlier. But where's the makeup? Like they don't start training camp earlier.
Well,
They don't start scrimmages earlier. They don't.
Pro Football Talk had an interesting article this week about their guess was if the NFL owners had their say, there would be 0 preseason games and 20 regular season games,
20.
because they look at it not as a
Oh.
preseason and regular season but as one complete season of 20 games. And so I think
Ugh.
the throughout the NFL it's been a 20 game season, if you will. And I think they said that started with 6 preseason games. That was then the season was expanded from 14 games to 16 games, and they took it from they converted 2 preseason games into regular season. It was that for a long time. Now they converted another one, so it's 3 and 17. Then it'll be
Yeah,
two
three and
and 19,
17.
and until
So
you
they're
get
just
to
gonna
the
slowly do away with
if they have
preseason
their
football.
cake, they will get away with preseason
Oh, of
football
course they
eventually.
will.
The
Of course
NFLPA
they
doesn't
will.
want it,
Yeah.
but they also want money.
I mean, I'm also a firm believer in, just because we're talking preseason and camp and everything, if those silly helmet attachments that offensive linemen are wearing prevent concussions, why aren't they wearing those during games too? Like,
I heard they were going to try
like
to start bringing them into games.
I hope that they do, because head injuries are no joke. I mean, like, we've seen too much stuff with it. I'd rather them just keep the players safer. But I kind of echoing back to Pat's point, like I remember back in the day, it used to be like the first preseason game you'd play, like your starters would play a series. The second preseason game they'd play a quarter. Third one they'd play the whole first half. Fourth one they'd either play about the same amount or none of them would play, and it would be all those fringe guys fighting for the 53. Like, and that was entertaining as all hell. That's how we discovered Victor Cruz, who went on to have a fantastic NFL career. Like, so I'd love to see that kind of drama come back to what preseason can be, but like, I feel like they don't even have like the same like cutoff dates for like roster designations and stuff anymore. Like I remember
No.
when it used to be you have a 90-man roster, you have to be cut down to 90, you have to be cut down to 75, then you have to be cut down to 53. Like now it's just okay, you have to be 53 before the start of the league. Like there's not any of those cut downs through camp anymore either, which is also something that built drama. So
It built drama, and I feel like it built competition, and like it built familiarity and like that camaraderie that comes with being a team. Like if you survived 90 to 75 and then 75 to 53, you were and practice squad, whatever the practice, I know the practice squad expanded recently too.
I think
Like
it's 15 now.
you were a dude. Like you were ingratiated in that team, and like you felt it. Now the 90 to 53, I feel like these guys can't really feel like they get comfortable because there's so many cuts. That's what, 37 people need to get cut in order to that's a huge number. And like, I know the Giants last season, because of their cap situation, were very active, like when cut day was happening, trying to fill holes. And it's like, you don't even know if you had a good camp. If you don't play, like, the Giants are not going to keep a deep wide receiver pool on the practice squad this season. It's not going to happen. They have a bunch of guys in camp. They're going to have 7 or 8 wide receivers on the roster this season. Like, they're going to maybe take 2 or 3 to the practice squad, maybe. And it's
And that's
just
the thing
like,
too, is you're going to have other teams that are going to want to steal those guys that you cut too. So like, are you going to really have that many people that make it to the practice squad, or are they going to get picked up beforehand?
yeah, I think what we're saying here is that preseason matters in different ways to different people. And
It matters.
I want to go
boring.
back. It is boring as shit. It is terrible football. But like, you're messing with guys' livelihoods, you know? Like, Victor Cruz is an excellent point. Victor Cruz went on to win a Pro Bowl. He won a Super Bowl, played in the Pro Bowl multiple times, won a Super Bowl, like, was a household name there for a hot minute, and was an undrafted guy, 3 touchdowns in the 4th preseason game, and like a shit ton of yards. That got him on the Giants, and that changed his life. That changed the whole trajectory of his life. And like, I wonder if we're going to see less stories about stuff like that, because there is less opportunity for guys to be able to show what they can do.
Yeah, I agree.
Thought-provoking shit, gentlemen. Thought-provoking shit.
Look at
Well,
us.
guys, down below, do us a favor, like, comment, and subscribe. Let us know how far superior this triumvirate is to our old triumvirate. Craig, you've been voted off the island. I'm sorry, the tribe has spoken. No, I'm just kidding. But we will be back. Mike will be here more. Mike Spillane will be here more frequently. You'll see him come in and out. He is a friend of the pod. He is knowledgeable. He knows things, especially around draft time. He watches more college football than literally any of the other individuals on this. So even if it's like 2 games, he watches more college football than anyone else. So guys, let us know down below what you think about NFL preseason and what you would like to see the format. Bring back 16-4. But thank you guys for hanging out. We appreciate it. Yeah, like, comment, and subscribe. Let us know what you think down below. And we will see you guys all back here next time.